actually trying out a new angle today. I think I like it. I'm not sure, but I wanted the bookshelf in it, and the bookshelf's in it, and that's all that really matters. I do want to do a video where I rearrange my bookshelf, but we're getting off topic. Today's video is going to be me tackling my TBR, and this is kind of like I feel like this is going to be an ongoing series because I do fear that I'm always going to have unread books sitting on my shelves, which is besides the point. But I have started already, and I realized I haven't filmed an intro, so this is going to be like a little, like, this is basically done, but I have like 2 to 3 other books picked out for this video as well. But right now I'm reading Daisy Jones and the Six, and this has been on my TBR for so long, probably like a year. I'm almost done. I'm like this far in. I did take the dust jacket off because it looks so pretty without the dust jacket. Like, I'll do a little zoomy zoom, but it is a book of the month book, and I got this from a used bookstore downtown, but like the cover is just so pretty. Like, it has like little speckles. This is a dust jacket, if anyone's wondering. I just don't think I like books with like actual human faces on them. I went up to the cottage on the weekend, so I got through a good chunk of this there. So far it's been great. I will give you final thoughts probably in the next few clips because I don't have a lot of clips of me reading this, but I wanted to include this because it has been on my TBR for so long. Some of the things that I like about the book so far: it is not what I was expecting. I knew it was about a rock band, and that's kind of it, like a rock band in the 70s, I think, but that's all I knew. I like how it follows everyone from the band's opinions, because since it's like written in an interview style, it's basically written as if they're in an interview, like someone's interviewing them and they're responding and like just reminiscing on how the band came to be, their success. I don't really know what's gonna happen. Like, I'm not sure where this is leading. The fact that it started with like how the band was formed, when they've reached like peak popularity, I'm guessing that the end is gonna be like either they decide to take a break or the band breaks up, which would be kind of sad. That's kind of like what it's leading to now, like something like big plot. I don't know if it was plot twist. I think it just might be life. I don't think I've given any sort of literary fiction over a 4-star, and this is feeling like a 4.5. So we'll see. I'm not done, but when I finish, you'll hear my final thoughts. I did go up to the cottage this weekend, and I read majority of the book there. So I don't know, it just gave like, it was so cold this weekend too. It was, so for context, we went up the first weekend of September, so like September 6th to 8th. So cold. It was probably 9 degrees when we woke up, and it was like the cottage doesn't really have insulation because it's an old cottage, so we had the fire running the whole time, and we were like all in sweaters and blankets. But I feel like this was just such a good like cozy, not even cozy, but like fall book. That's crazy. That's actually wild. That's crazy. That's a good plot twist right there. Here are some right after post-book thoughts. Right now, I can't even fathom picking up another book because this was so good. The fact that I wasn't expecting that kind of ending, but I knew something bad was going to happen, but I didn't think that it would like pull at my heartstrings like that. Taylor Jenkins Reid just does such a good job at that. I remember reading The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo like a while ago. Loved it. And I don't really like literary fiction, but her books always seem to like do it for me, and I don't know why. 5 out of 5 stars. I like the fact that I wasn't expecting the last page to have the words on it that it did, like to say what it did. I was like literally speechless, but like so, like, I don't even know how to describe how that ending made me feel, because I think I have big emotions. I just have big emotions. So reading that, if you know, you know, like, oh my gosh, this guy really did it, and I'm so glad I got my reactions to a lot of it on video, because I just feel like if I didn't, I would have been so sad. But this was easily a 5 out of 5 star book for me. I don't know why I put it off for so long. It just, the whole concept of it didn't seem interesting to me. And I've been watching like a couple of TikToks and like other people's reviews, and they're like, that's kind of why I put it off too. Like, it just didn't seem interesting. I promise you that Taylor Jenkins Reid could probably make a rock interesting. It was really good. The characters were so complex in the sense that I was like, the whole time I was like, is he gonna give in to like addiction? Is she gonna like ever get sober? And like, there's just so much. It was just so good, and I feel like I say that about a lot of books, but specifically this one, because I didn't anticipating liking it as much as I would. I don't think I would have picked this up if my boyfriend's mom was like, you should really watch the show, I think you'd like it. So shout out to her, because honestly, she's the whole reason for me picking this guy up. But okay, I'm gonna try and describe this in a way that makes it sound interesting so you'll want to read it. But basically, this is written in interview style, so there are no paragraphs, there are no like, it's not really written as a traditional story. It's written like an interview. So if you read like an interview transcript, that's exactly what this whole book is. And I know a lot of people said they listened to it on audio, and I kind of want to do that. Like, even though I've read it, I will go back and listen to it on audio when it becomes available at my library, because they're like, it is just so good. Like, they have a cast of people, and I was like, well, now I want to listen to that too, because I loved it. So it's basically about a 70s rock band, and it kind of just follows their formation of the band, their rise to like peak fame, and then kind of like, not their downfall, but like kind of just what happens after they reach peak fame, and it goes from there. This book does deal with a lot of like super heavy topics, like addiction, like drug addiction, alcoholism, things like that, so be aware. But it also follows, or it kind of just touches upon like both sides of addiction. So what happens to the person who is addicted, and then how everyone else around them is affected, especially I guess in the 70s, when rock and roll was literally just sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It was like, it was the brand of rock and roll. But you learn something about the interviewer at the end, and I wasn't expecting it. Like I said, the last page of the book, I was not expecting those words on the page whatsoever. May I just say that it is a wild experience reading this book and listening to the soundtrack on Spotify, because I was listening to like Aurora and what was the other song? Honeycomb. Like, I think I've heard some of their songs before I even read the book, and before I knew it was from the show, because it just came up in like my Discover Weekly. But listening to the songs and reading the book at the same time is just it's just an experience, like the best experience. So 5 out of 5 stars. Next up we have Children of Ragnarok, and I got this at HomeSense, when I first discovered that you could buy books for really cheap at HomeSense. So I got this for $7, and it was originally $23. So you just know how happy I was when I got it. I've never heard anything about this, but I'm obsessed with just Thor in general. Not even Thor, but like just the Thor universe within the Marvel universe. Like, I am obsessed with Loki and Norse mythology. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, this seems really interesting. And I looked it up on Goodreads. It does have quite high reviews for Goodreads. And it's just, I think a lot of people are saying it's a Viking story. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So picked it up. It's so pretty. I think I'm 100-ish pages in. 125. I'm on chapter 15. I also just love, like, look how pretty this cover is. And even like the chapter, like the start of every chapter, I feel like I showed this too. Like, look at it's just so pretty. Let's continue this one. I think I'm really gonna enjoy this. Fingers crossed, I hope. And there is a map at the beginning. And remember what I said about maps, right? So, yes, this one has been sitting on my shelf for a while as well. and I'm still trying to figure out what other book I'm gonna put into this video, but this one, I think this one's gonna be really fun. I also think another thing that's worth mentioning, which is definitely on me, like not on the book whatsoever, but when I picked this up, I was thinking of like Norse mythology, the Norse gods, and like Thor Ragnarok, like that Marvel movie. This is nothing close to that. And Thor Ragnarok is actually like happening, and Asgard is getting destroyed, and there's just like so much going on. This kind of takes place after Ragnarok, and it's like the aftermath of what happened to all of the realms, I guess you could say, and all of like the people and stuff. So it has nothing really to do with any Norse gods. Like they're mentioned, like Odin's mentioned, Thor is mentioned, some other gods may have been mentioned, I'm not sure, I can't remember. But this is just dealing with the aftermath of that and how everyone's picking up and how life continues on after Ragnarok, after this like big devastation. So it's definitely not what I was expecting, and I think I went in to this having a little or like higher expectations than I probably should. Definitely reads like a YA fantasy, but also there's some parts in here where it's like they were fighting and like battling, and I was like, I feel like this is not like a YA like the way to describe a YA like battle, but that could also just be my very creative brain. Okay, so I finished Children of Ragnarok yesterday, and it didn't really end on a cliffhanger, but it did, like the story's not done. It was wrapped up nicely, as if like if you didn't want to finish the series you could end there, but there's still like the bigger plot, I guess, isn't resolved. I think I would give this like a 3.5 to a 4. I haven't decided yet. The first three, I would say like the first 3/4 of the book, like this much, I was like, it's cool, but like that's it, it's just cool. This part of the book, so good. I was so invested. I love when books have like not a lot makes sense in the beginning, but slowly towards the end everything starts to like not necessarily wrap up, but like all the stories start to make sense, and like they start to get intertwined, and like more thing, I don't know, like it's just, it was really good, and I love books like that. It kind of happened like that in the Lost Story, and that's why I think I struggled with a rating for that one as well, because like the beginning half of it was like, it was all right. It would be like a 3-star book in the beginning, but the back half of the book made it like an easy 4. So I don't know, I'm struggling to rate this one, but I really did like it. I love the cover. I'm a sucker for covers. And I don't know, it was just, it took me a while to understand the language and everything that was happening, but after that, like once you get through that, then it's great. Next up on the list is a book that I wouldn't ever pick up by myself, and it is my first Frida McFadden book, which is The Inmate, and my family friend gave this to me to borrow. This is her book, so I need to finish it because I've had it for a while. But the whole world of like Frida McFadden and thrillers just scare me so much, because I don't know if I'm a thriller girly. I just finished A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I really like that, so I'm like, okay, this is just probably a bit more mature than that, so I'm like, maybe I can do that. But I don't think I can read this at night just because I feel like it will make my brain so awake. I'm 63 pages in. I started this morning. I feel like I will get through this pretty fast if I've read like that much in one sitting so far. So we'll see how that goes. It's really easy to get through, like super digestible. So we'll see. I'm just very nervous because I don't think I would ever willingly pick this up. But my friend said it was really good. So we're gonna try and see, because I love recommendations. I'm gonna take every single recommendation and read it. It just took me a while to get to this one. I'm almost done. I've almost completely finished this book in a day, which is insane because it's not like a 5-star. I don't even know if it's a 4-star, but it's just so easily digestible and I'm plowing through it, which is insane. Like, I'm kind of convinced that I can finish this today. Will I do it? I don't know. But I kind of want to try, just to say that I finished a book in a day. I find it funny that everything's starting to go good and I read like a line in the book and everyone's like happy and stuff and I'm like, oh, here we go. Everything is gonna go to shit. I know it. I know it deep down in my soul, and this is just me calling it for the future of this book because I know something insane is about to go down. Freaking knew it. I knew it. I'm just gonna say I called it because I did. I didn't wake up this morning and think to myself, I'm gonna finish a book in a day, because I don't know, I just feel like that's usually something that doesn't happen for me. I usually don't have those thoughts, but here we are at the end of the day and the book is done. So do with that what you will. I have I don't even think I have so many thoughts about this. I think I would give this, even though I did finish it in a day, I would give it like a 3 out of 5 stars. I just don't think thrillers are for me, but again, like thriller mystery, like I was hooked. I think I wasn't emotionally attached to the characters. Plot was good. I wasn't emotionally attached to the characters, and I think that's what I need to be like really invested in a story. And I wasn't really invested in the story either, but it was nice because it was like an easy read and I flew through it, obviously because I finished it in a day. I don't know, it was very interesting and it was very different from the things that I usually do read, so I'll give it that. My mind isn't closed off to thrillers, but this was just, I don't know, this is just so interesting. I don't even know if I want to tell you guys what it's about because I liked going into it not knowing anything at all. So maybe I'll give you like a rough little, like very minimal details. Okay, yeah, it's about Brooke, who is a nurse and she gets a job at a prison, and she, like, her son's father is in that prison. It says on the back, so I can say that. And it kind of just goes through like how it flip-flops back and forth between like the past to how her son's father got arrested and in jail, like what led up to that, and then present day when she actually has to face him in the prison, and then everything that goes down after that. But it was just very interesting. I don't know, I really wanted to read a Frida McFadden book, so I'm glad that I did actually read one. And I don't know, it was good. I just don't think it's my favorite genre of book. Of course, I have to take all of the books out that I read for this video. I think it was a very good mix of genres, which I'm kind of proud of myself for, because I don't know, it was like literary fiction, fantasy, and thriller. And I'm usually not really good at reading different genres, I guess. I really like romantasy, romance, and fantasy. So like those 3. Literary fiction is very hit and miss for me, so I'm kind of proud of myself. Like, oh, I don't know. But yeah, I think this was great. This was such a fun experience, and I knocked 3 books off of my physical TBR, which is amazing because I don't know if you can see this pile right here. In the past couple days, I've acquired 4 more books. So we continue on with the physical TBR. But thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today, and I hope you enjoyed watching my reactions to Daisy Jones and the Six, because I think that's like what I had the biggest reaction to. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.